And welcome to the Lords of Loud podcast. We're just four guys who enjoy a good debate about music. We thought we'd move our rants and discussions into the podcast era. I'm Lord Ben, Lord of the Lords. I'm the Walrus. As always with me I have Lord Brett, he is the Eggman. Lord Kev, he is the Scotch Eggman. And Lord Al, he's the Eggplant. Lords of Loud. Alright, and welcome back to the Lords of Loud. And on tonight's episode, we're going to, in a, I guess, Frankenstein-esque manner, construct our best four-piece band.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Get into the
So we're going to, steal some members from different bands, and we're going to put together our sort of favourite or best, what we think is the best four-piece that we can assemble from the various members of
Do you mean members or members?
Oi. Let's not say.
That's some Frankenstein.
So Ben just takes the Beatles, pulls John Lennon out and throws in
That's right. So we take John's
a
head,
clone of Paul McCartney. So it's two Paul McCartneys, Ringo and George, and he's done.
Well, didn't we work out that like
McCartney.
8 Beatles or something?
That's it.
I'm going to have the drummer's arm from Def Leppard.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Just floating around like that in the wind.
Yeah, the guitarist from Black Sabbath, his fingertip.
Yes. Yeah.
Dear. All right. Before we do that, we have to do the now famous segment, which is Album of the Week.
Album of the week.
People love this, and
love it.
they're all over
They're all
Facebook
over.
on this.
We're astounded with the reaction.
Yeah, we've had people saying,
embarrassing.
can you do 2 albums of the week?
Nope.
3 albums of the week? No. 1 album of the week's plenty.
And who's
right.
got one this week, Ben?
Well, this will be me, actually, this week.
How about that?
Kev, thanks for throwing back to me. That's good. See how professional we've got.
That's right.
Yeah.
So this album of the week for me is the latest album from King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, and that is their album Infest the Rat's Nest.
Yes.
If anyone knows the band, they certainly like to cover lots of different musical styles, and on this particular latest release, they're tackling thrash metal. And they do a pretty good homage to a classic sort of 80s thrash metal style album. So yeah, worth checking out. Have a listen and let us know what you think on our Facebook page. That'd be
So it's just been released?
just been released. This is a brand new,
And is it their 12th?
Last week before.
Is it their 12th album they've released this year?
Yeah,
Because they're so prolific.
Yeah, these guys are so prolific. Yeah, it is. It's literally I think it's their 3rd album this year, but it's like, you know,
incredible,
in the last whatever 3 or 4 years, they've released like 45 albums or something like that. It's insane. All right, so go check that out and comment on our Facebook page.
I'll just say that my little brother will be way ahead of you on this. He's a huge
King Gizzard fan.
King Giz.
he's got Evie, his little daughter, completely, brainwashed to the point where she sings Rattlesnake over breakfast.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah.
Rattlesnake. That was so that was so
It's
6
like their
months ago.
family, so yeah, it is.
That was so
6 months and
6
14
albums ago.
albums
That was 6 albums ago. Yeah.
Well, I've got to catch up with this stuff because it's a lot of good fun.
It's good. They're a great Australian band. But this week's episode is brought to you by the 1987 VHS of John Farnham's Whispering Jack live.
Oh.
So great concert film of the Whispering Jack album.
Before we stopped touring.
Before he stopped touring for the 3rd time. Yes, that's right. So go out and find yourself a copy of that. Released in 1987. Classic.
Can I just ask a question about Whispering Jack? What's that then?
What's that?
Why is he whispering?
Why is he whispering?
Why is he whispering? I have no
I
idea.
don't know, mate.
Okay.
You'd have to think it'd be quite hard on the vocals.
Because he's
Trying to
far
do
from a
whole songs
whisperer,
like that.
is he?
No, that's right. Big voice,
Yeah.
No.
Now,
He's not
Dad-
called Jack either. So, I mean, what...
Well, John Jack, maybe that's maybe it's his nickname. Maybe you guys are a little bit young, but when that album was released...
The other way
it's
of looking
massive.
at it, of course, Fred, is maybe you're about old.
Sorry, thanks. Thanks, Kev, for pointing that out. I'm not the one wearing slippers. So, but when that album was released, and of course, You're the Voice was a monster hit.
Huge.
There was a point at which I remember trying to tune the radio to find a different song that wasn't You're the Voice. It was seriously, one night, it was on every damn bloody station.
Yeah,
it was
blew up.
massive.
Absolutely blew up.
But mind you, in Brisbane, back in the 80s, there were probably only 3 stations.
That's right. So I kept going.
And Triple Z.
Yeah.
But yeah, check out that VHS. His mullet does most of the work on that. Brilliant stuff. All right, let's get to tonight's topic. And I think, Alan, you want to kick us off with your 4-piece.
Sure. My members. Okay, so you'll need to just hang in with me while I say the names. I even have songwriters lined up as well. I'll consider them as separate to the band.
No, hey, whoa. Adding extra members of the band?
No, it's not an extra member. They're just a song. I think
they're feeding the
easily.
You have to have songwriters in your band. You can't go, oh, well, here's my band, and now I've got these couple of willians who I'm going to use
just lyricists. Okay,
it's same thing.
No. Look, they're more than capable of doing all their own lyrics.
You're going to choose your own engineer at this point. Who's in the studio.
But that's the thing. Are the Beatles 4 or 5-piece?
What's the name of the girl who breaks them up? That's what I want to know.
All right, who's your 4-piece?
We don't need the origin story. Just tell us the.
Okay, no. But I want to just put, as a warning that there is a 5th contract-only lyricist. or to come in. Okay. But like I said, they're more than capable of writing their own lyrics.
All right.
Okay, first is a young Bob Dylan.
A young Bob
Dylan?
Young Bob Dylan.
Oh, okay. I'm confused.
Are you sure you're on the
No.
Yeah, I'm confused too.
Just bear with me.
And he's on drums, right?
Never been in a band.
No singing for you, Bob.
That's right. So you obviously haven't got him as a vocalist.
Okay, so young Bob Dylan.
He's at least 10 feet from a microphone at all times.
That's right. He's actually the drum riser.
He's the drum roadie. He just carries stuff.
Better. That's right. Okay. So sorry, I should have explained. This is a a cappella group.
What the hell?
What?
Okay, so this is a cappella.
Yeah, okay.
And you've got Dylan in there?
Yeah.
Who can't sing?
Hey, just bear with me. It'll all make sense as we go.
Sure.
Okay, because I'm thinking of the harmonies. Okay, the different qualities that each voice bring.
Yeah.
So we've got young Bob Dylan, Britney Spears.
What the hell?
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So
okay.
now you're thinking of the video.
Okay,
So,
I mean, that
Some
aside.
fucked up travelling Wilburys.
Okay, hang on.
I don't think Bob's going to turn up to this gig, Alan.
Okay, Yoko Ono.
What?
And I can't decide here. It's either Meatloaf or it's Mark E. Smith.
Oh, okay.
Have you just chosen everyone you hate
taking the piss,
and put other than Britney, because you're a massive Britney fan?
Yeah, well, no, look, I'm just going on the quality of their voices.
Right.
We didn't say this was a good dream piece.
Right, I see.
This
is my bad.
It's the best.
This is my
This is your bad one.
4-piece dream.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so when I have bad dreams, this is what I think of.
Okay.
So I think, Bob's whininess, Britney's, high-pitched, breathy whininess.
Sure.
Yoko Ono's
Screaming.
Yeah. And, Meatloaf's theatrics or Marky Smith's ranting. Yeah. I think collectively and here are the lyricists that I'm working on it.
Right.
Okay, so lyrics are by Metallica in the Saint Anger era.
Right.
Okay, because this is one of the lyrics.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel my world shake like an earthquake. It's hard to see clear. Is it me? Is it fear? I'm madly in anger with you.
Nice.
Okay.
Can I just say, Britney's all over that.
Yeah.
She is singing the crap out of that.
Look, it is all about delivery and conviction. Yeah. So I think between all of them, they all have confidence. They all bring conviction.
Yeah.
They all bring their unique singing talents to it. So I think
now give us your proper one.
No, that's it. That's
and so with Britney's midriff.
Yes.
With an early Bob Dylan hairstyle, which is just obviously unkempt, sort of, with a cap on the top.
Yes.
And Yoko Ono's size, she's quite diminutive, so she wouldn't be seen potentially.
Yes.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And you still can't split.
Well, it's a toss-up.
Well, put it this way: if Yoko Ono stands behind Meatloaf, she's in danger of being killed at some point as he steps backwards, unfortunately, and squashes her. And she squeals at the right time. I like it.
Unfortunately, Mark E. Smith has passed on. So I guess, I'm looking at it as if it was possible.
He could be there as a spectral spirit.
Style.
Kind of like, Ben Kenobi, just in blue light off at the side.
Yeah.
complaining.
So that's it. I think it really.
Oh, that's good, mate. Next time, can you take the assignment seriously?
Well, it goes back to the destiny thing. I mean, I made a bargain with it, a long time ago, and I'm holding up my hand.
Used to think we can talk all night. I had the answers to everything, but that ain't getting us nowhere. But now I know I told you everything I possibly can. Life doesn't always go.
And in this earth and in the world we can't see.
Feels like I'm caught in the middle. That's when I realize I'm not a good.
Okay, so thanks for taking the piss.
Yeah.
You've done well there.
Right. Well, I did think about it, but all the other ones that I thought, I was just like, well, part of what makes someone great is the band that they're already in or have been in. I could have said, I want so-and-so out of Led Zeppelin, I want so-and-so out of, whatever. But in the end, it was kind of like, why? You could, sometimes you get super groups together and they sound shit because there's either competing egos or they don't, it, for whatever reason, it doesn't quite gel.
Well, I
took that into account too.
I had a similar sort of thought because what I thought of was like my favourite guitarist, say Kevin Shields out of Valentine's, right? Oh, it's a really good bassist. Or Manny from Stone Roses, right? He's a great front person. Bobby Gillespie at Primal Scream. And I suddenly went, I've actually seen that band play. They came out, Primal Scream, and played at the Big Day Out.
Yeah.
And that was their touring band. They just got Manny to play bass for that tour, and they got Kevin Shields on guitar. And it was like, I was in heaven. I was like, this is fucking great. They were doing the Exterminator album, and it was just incredible. So, yeah, I was trying to build something around, that, and then I realised, that kind of thing had been done. I'm going to have to kind of rethink as you guys go, but that's the way I started off.
Okay. And it's interesting because I had the same problem, right? And so
you just wrote the Travelling Wilburys.
yeah. So I built a band around a person, and you'll have to help me in it, because I thought, okay, what would be interesting, and okay, so let's go back to an original. Let's put Elvis as the singer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Costello.
Yeah, that's right, the original. So, okay, so who would work with that? Who would work in that style? And in my head, that immediately starts to knock out people.
Britney Spears, for example.
Exactly. Yeah. She's not playing guitar in that band.
You can have two competing stars like that.
Exactly. So you can't, in my head, you can't put someone like Keith Moon in that band. Shit. Because you sort of go, oh, okay, that's not the feel I'm going for. Okay, so all right. In my head, if you wanted to find someone who would be sympathetic to Elvis as a singer, it's in my head, it's a toss-up between either Charlie Watts from Rolling Stones or Ringo, somebody who isn't a show pony, which is your Keith Moon and John Bonham.
Yeah.
It's someone who plays more for feel.
Yeah.
And in my head, those two guys go for it, all right?
Yeah.
They go, okay, so I need a guitarist, all right? And again, going back to, you either go, well, let's just put Chuck Berry in there, or if you want to go a little younger, you go Keith Richards, who could potentially sit there with someone like Ringo.
Happy to play along with.
Maybe happy to play along, and do that sort of stuff.
Probably got a cab down from Eric Clapton's house in the morning. They've both been chasing his wife. And potentially that almost sounds like, a Ringo and Keith thing may have already happened already, and can't recall. Maybe.
So I wouldn't have Ringo. I'd put Levon Helm in that. But I'd put him on drums in that band.
Okay.
He's got that
That's
feel.
not bad. That's not bad. And good singer as well for some backups as well.
Absolutely. So who's your bass player in that?
Well, that's where I'm stuck.
Yeah.
Because they go, okay, that's not bad, and again, Levon Helm, that's really great. That's a lovely sort of.
Rockabilly sort of
and sort of rootsy Americana sort of style.
Well, I guess that's the thing. It's like what type of music would you see them playing? Are you thinking that would do early Elvis, or would they be doing late Elvis? Because
I don't see it as late, but I certainly see them being able to play. And in my head, where the band got to, which is rootsy Americana sort of stuff, you go, okay, they're all suitable to play that. And obviously with Levi Helm, they're definitely suitable to play that. But again, and in my head it's going, well, do we go a bass player, or do you go the Doors thing and you put a keyboard player in there who might be better off and let him play some bass?
Yeah, I'd probably do that.
Would you?
Really?
Thanks.
Yeah. So when you think about, like, I can't see Elvis being in a band that was just all rockabilly.
Yeah.
So if you look at the type of mix that he had, sort of mid to late career, there would have still been some rockabilly in there, but there would have been some gospel inspired stuff.
Yeah. Where potentially you'd need a keyboard rather than.
Yeah, that's right. And so a keyboardist may be a little more flexible. That'd be my top choice.
And the problem with Elvis is he is just a voice. You don't get any additional, he doesn't add.
Guitar. Yeah.
He does. He soon stop that.
Yeah. No, if you just need a bit of background fill.
Yeah. Or something that he can sling around and do a little kung fu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So keys, if you're looking for a keyboard player, then you'd need to find one.
You would need to find one. That's right. His name escapes me, but the keyboard player for the Black Crowes would probably fit nicely in there, because that's he sort of does.
Or you
that.
do like a Nicky Hopkins or something like that.
You could do that. Yeah.
The guy from Europe.
Yeah,
wow.
Synth'd go real
wow. Yeah.
Not the continent, the band.
No, the band.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not just one European
keyboard player.
A keyboard player from Europe. I like that. Yeah. But again,
As long as he's from Europe.
It seemed too hard, as you sort of suggested, Kev, to go, let me pick my top players, throw them together and hope that sort of works. It seemed easier to go, here's someone with a style, and then pluck some people out and throw them in.
Build people up.
Yeah.
As the snow flies on a cold and gray Chicago morning, a poor little baby child is born in the ghetto. And his mama cries.
Is that the end of yours there, Brett?
That's the end of mine there.
All right. So I took a similar. I went with the style thing too. Like I thought, okay, who could I construct out of the sort of late '60s, leading into that sort of prog period into the '70s. So I had my first pick was Gilmour on guitars and vocals. Incredible guitarist, can play both rhythm and lead incredibly well.
Rhythm and blues is what I thought you were going to say.
Country and western.
Can obviously, cover lots of different genres as well. And incredible vocalist. So then I thought, okay, well, who's going to be harmonising with him, and who's a multi-instrumentalist singer too? So I went with Steve Winwood on keys and other instruments. Great, one of the great blue-eyed soul voices. Incredible musician. Again, songwriter, Gilmour songwriter. Like, so, thinking about who, because you've got to be able to actually write some music for your band. And then I've got two members of the Who in.
You get the rhythm section.
What?
I've got Moon on drums.
No way.
And then I've got Entwistle on bass.
Oh. You've got to have one hack in there.
Again, both vocalists as well. So we've got lots of vocals covered. They both write songs as well. So we've basically got a heap of songwriters, vocalists, and all incredibly proficient musicians. So they can cover that sort of psychedelic '60s stuff. They can and accomplish enough to move into the sort of prog era sort of stuff as well. So. And I had it was a toss up between Moon and Helm on drums for me. And again, I think Moon's a better fit for that 60s stuff as opposed to the more rootsy stuff.
Well, I sort of cheated as well, just like you.
Get out.
How did I cheat?
Get out.
And I went with Johnny Marr, first of all, because
Guitar, yep.
I think that he's an incredibly... he's shown it, in fact. He's shown it how flexible he is over his career. He's played with electronic and he's played with Modest Mouse.
Great
and
guitar.
He starts his own bands and he plays his Old Smith stuff. And, you know, and he's very kind of generous that way. That he's not really a showboat, but his guitar just like creates something that everyone else can just like jam in with. I'm tempted to just keep the Stone Roses rhythm section idea, mainly because if you think about it, really their career was cut short in a way by their sort of restricted really to 2 albums, and Remy and Manny are just an incredible fit, and if you stuck them with Johnny Marr's dexterity instead of sort of maybe John Squire's sort of dedication to just 60s blues sounds, you might start to create something.
So who's your lead?
Well, yeah, I was thinking either David Bowie or someone else who I can't quite remember right now. But I think I'll just go with David Bowie because that's the one I can remember. And it's getting late and I'm quite old. But essentially, that's what it was. I thought, it'd be so much fun because of the glam thing that, Johnny Marr comes from that kind of background, this glam rock thing. And, that's definitely what there's a lot of, and David Bowie brings some great songwriting. The two of those together would be great. And I think that would be a little powerhouse.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Do you think there's ego? Do you think Bowie's ego could sort of let him play with a band like that?
Yeah, well, it's
We'd
a good
have to.
question.
I mean, Kev's the manager.
I'm in charge, so
pull him into line.
Kev just cracks the
you
whip.
have to remember that he is, a spirit. So he'd be grateful for any
That's right.
any gig he
he's
can
grateful
get.
for the work.
He's probably
He's
going,
in hologram,
you know,
on the side of the stage as well.
kind of dull up here, guys.
Yeah, and that's interesting, isn't it? Like, can you, like, it's interesting that you've thought about Bowie and you've thought about Elvis, like two, obviously, clearly,
Dead.
Clearly dead, but also clearly, individual artists.
Yes.
Still more talented.
As much as they played with, consistent bands generally, but for periods of time. So that raises its own interesting ideas around how do you, could you ever put someone like that in a band situation? Like, could they?
Well, I mean, Johnny Marr's got the experience to deal with the big ego front guy, and so does the rhythm section. They've all played in that band lineup.
Yeah,
David Bowie would be the one that would have to sort of take himself back to, really, he had that Tin Machine thing when that was meant to be, everyone's, in it together.
Yeah.
I did think of it maybe just to keep it completely Manchester and having Jarvis Cocker, but I didn't see him quite fitting with the Stone Roses boys, and anyway.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Don't let me hear you say life's taking you nowhere. Baby. Look at that sky, life's begun. Nights are warm and the days are young.
Al, have you thought about a more serious combination?
I resent that, Ben.
I'm surprised none of you guys particularly has mentioned Bonham in, like, as far as drumming in any of these bands.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
I'm so in love with him,
but that's the thing. Like, you think of some, like I said before, you could think of some that could come together and just absolutely suck. But I mean, Led Zeppelin were just great the way they were. So why would you take John Bonham out of that? So.
That's right. Exactly right.
Yeah.
And I think it should be said, Ben, that I don't think, speaking for myself, I don't love John Bonham half as much as you hate him. So
I don't hate him.
I think we've got it on record.
He's a great drummer. I'm just saying he's not. He's overrated as a drummer. That's all.
He's great, but
He's still great, but he's overrated.
Like Keith
Certainly
Moon.
not the greatest drummer of all time.
No, definitely not.
Okay.
All right.
Did anyone else have any other combinations of
No, I mean,
players they want to put together?
yeah, I mean, it's interesting because that was just invented that. But there are other, you could probably, have a jigsaw puzzle challenge for yourself with any artist that you like.
Yeah, I think it was interesting. Sorry, Brett. Yeah.
I was just saying, because the interesting thing too is if you're not careful, you think of it as a performing band, which is really sort of somewhat limited.
Yeah.
Because when you think of some great songs, there are more than 4 instruments at play.
Sure.
Yeah,
so I try to think of some
so it's really hard. Yeah, it's really hard to go to remember that it doesn't have to be. It's just 4 guys on stage. That again, I know there are some people who with 3 people did some incredible stuff on stage. But I found that a really trying thing to go. No, I can break that formula. Someone can play and sing and whatever.
Yeah.
They can do more than
That's
just
what I tried
that
to
one
think
thing.
about too. Was who can write songs? What will vocals blend with the other singer? Is there where's the ego? Is it going to be do I do one clear front person or do I do 2 people who could potentially be front people but don't have necessarily the ego to clash?
And it really does depend on the genre that you're looking at. So if you're looking at more electronica,
sure,
four
would
would
make
be
any kind
a
of
surplus.
Yeah.
Probably. Well, I mean,
way too many.
No,
You have the 2 guys from Underworld and just some people making drinks.
Well, that's the thing. Like I'm
That's
thinking,
right.
Like
some
David
pills.
Byrne from Talking Heads has done stuff with
and a
Brian Eno.
computer.
That's been quite interesting. They've done a few things together, and pretty much you can take, any 2 people like that with a lot of experience and imagination and bring them together. And if you tried to bring more people in, it's probably just going to get. You'll end up a bit, I guess, like the Beatles ended up being just like, well, you guys work together and we'll work together, and then we'll come and put the songs side by side, but it's not going to have that coherence.
Sure. Which probably begs the question, and maybe there's another episode in it, which is talking about the supergroup and where these people are already established, rather than they become established by coming together. Because again, I think you may have alluded to it, Kev. Yeah, that's a tough thing. It's really tough for a supergroup to actually be able to work because they already have
and stuff.
they already have who they are.
Yeah.
So maybe we do an episode of who's the supergroup you would have liked to have seen, maybe that could have potentially functioned. Which would be
which would be really interesting. Yeah.
Well, I've got a working one. The one's still alive.
Brittany's busy.
All right.
She's got nothing to do with
Brittany's in high demand, so
Sure.
All right.
Marky Smith is only alive in the hearts and minds of every music fan. Well,
And Meatloaf, any minute now, surely he's going. Surely he's
how's
not.
he still going? Yeah.
I think 20 minutes on the stage with Brittany and finish him off.
He'd have to learn all the dance moves.
Exactly.
Brilliant. All right.
One less time.
Well, that's a nice short one. Let's wrap it up there. And so, yes, thanks for listening, and join us again on The Lords of Loud. And don't forget to check out our website, lordsofloud.com, and also find us on Instagram and Facebook, both at Lords of Loud. Thanks for listening.